Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tammy and this is Life of Lolu. I am so glad to be back. It's only been a few weeks. I think I've been kind of off my YouTube game, but I've been really on my Instagram game. So sometimes something gotta give, you know. It's always, you can't give 100% to everything. I wish I could, but I have a full-time job and I'm a full-time worker. So anyway, that is beside the point. Today I'm talking about something that I feel like a lot of people would really be interested in hearing about. It's kind of a story time, kind of like an informative video because essentially, I think I'm still healing from this experience, but I feel like I'm at a point where I can talk about it now. Sounds dramatic, but honestly, you will understand. I mean, you've seen the title already. So essentially, I went to Nigeria this December and January, and I got COVID. So I kind of want to just talk about, first of all, my experience traveling in a pandemic internationally, but also just having COVID in Nigeria. So essentially, we all know the pandemic's been happening. It's been a thing since 2020. And like, you know, it's affected all of our lives. We all know that, whatever. But basically, like, I wasn't planning on going to Nigeria last year. My parents were gonna, originally come here. We just really weren't sure what we were gonna do, but we wanted to have a family reunion at some point in December. So, we were kind of juggling between, going to Nigeria, my parents coming here, whatever. It was back and forth, whatever. We finally were like, okay, let's just go to Nigeria. Like, it's better in Nigeria than it is here in terms of the state of, the country. But or so we thought. So we had booked our first flight, and that was a flight with, I forgot which airline, I feel like it was Air France, and then we found out later that airline was not actually flying to Nigeria because of restrictions. Essentially, the ticket was not of value to us because at that point, Air France was not going to be able to be let into Nigeria. So we were like, yo, we just spent like 1,000 something on tickets, and we couldn't even show anything for it. So immediately called them, got our money back. We were like, okay, we're back to square zero. We don't have a ticket to Nigeria. Time is kind of the essence, and at that point we had planned to go to Nigeria earlier to get cheaper tickets, so like the first week of December. So a lot happened. We finally got tickets. Time to go to Nigeria. So Nipa and I were traveling together, and before you go to Nigeria, before you travel internationally during the pandemic, at least this is how it was for us, there was a lot of paperwork and a lot of online portals that you had to fill out to make sure that you are able to go, get COVID testing 3 days prior, within the hours they tell you to, and all that stuff. So that was kind of stressful, I can't lie. Like, that was where traveling in a pandemic was stressful, because you had to make sure you had all the papers, and you had to just hope that you get to the gate and there's no problems, because I know people that were turned down at the gate. I know people that their COVID tests were not where they needed to be. They were taken later than they should have been taken. Like, there were so many little things that they were being very strict about it in terms of traveling internationally, which I'm happy about, even though it was annoying. But essentially, we were going through New York, and so we, got on the plane to New York. It was a pretty chill flight. It was actually pretty empty. Had to wait in New York for a while, and then eventually got to Nigeria. And so we were told that when we got to Nigeria, we would have a lot of things to fill out. We would have, it would be a big whole checkpoint thing when you get off the plane. Like, they need to require this. You have to have a COVID test when you land, and you have to have it booked and paid for before you land. So we didn't do that because we knew that when we got to Nigeria, we would be getting a COVID test through our mom's job. And so the price that they had put on the little portal thing was a lot. It was like just a ridiculous amount of money, like $250 for a COVID test, which is ridiculous. Like, we get COVID tests for free in the US, so we were just like, why would we be paying all that for a COVID test? It didn't make sense. So we were like, no, we're not gonna pay for anything. We're gonna tell them we have a COVID test because we would get a COVID test. But upon getting to Nigeria, we were supposed to isolate for 7 days. Everyone was supposed to isolate for 7 days when you get to Nigeria. And we did that. We did not go anywhere for 7 days. We, of course, we were in our parents' house. Our parents were around us, and like that was the risk they were willing to take. I mean, they were so happy to see us. Like, they didn't just tell us stay in your room for 7 days. But we did not go out. We didn't have anybody come to our house for 7 days. And then we got COVID tested, and of course we were COVID free. So then we started, kind of trying to live our lives. But essentially, we were working in Nigeria. So we were working on US time. So the only way I could get to Nigeria and be there early was because I agreed to still, work and do everything I was supposed to do. I had projects, I had things. So my boss was like, okay, like, if you sure you can do this with a good Wi-Fi and everything and maintain and do all your projects, cool. Like, I have no problem with you going. We're all online anyway, and my job has been on Zoom since I started it last March. So essentially, we get to Nigeria, we're working nights, basically nights in Nigeria, normal 9 to 5 here. And so we finally got 2 weeks. Well, I finally took 2 weeks off because I was gonna take, my vacation. I was like, no, I'm in Nigeria. I need to enjoy. I need to celebrate. I hadn't done much because of just working and the time difference and everything. I hadn't really gotten that much time to link up with people, and I hadn't really done much. So Whew, I feel like I went through that really quickly, but I'm just trying to make sure this video is not too long. But yes, so, you know, finally had my vacation, was finally so happy to be off work. And then, you know, one day I just start feeling a little funny. I was like, I'm really tired. Like all of a sudden, it was Christmas Eve. I was really, really fatigued. And I was like, yo, why am I so exhausted? Like, this is weird. I was like, I know I had been working, but like this was an exhaustion like that was different. So I was like, okay, cool. Your family was also kind of feeling like that. My mom was kind of feeling some type of way. I was like, Well, holla at me, like, yo. I was like, yo, what's happening? So, you know, we had actually been in a wedding prior to that day. So we had been wedding the weekend before we started feeling symptoms. So, you know, the wedding was pretty, you know, it was mask required, but in Nigeria, the situation in Nigeria is essentially that some people don't believe that the pandemic was as serious in Nigeria, but I think it's just that people weren't reporting and getting tested as much as they should have. And here's why: because the test in Nigeria was 50,000 naira, and people don't have 50,000 naira to just get tested whenever they can. Not everyone had access to free testing like we did because of my mom's job. So it's a disparity, and it's unfair, and it's sad, because that is why people were not getting tested, and that is why COVID was spreading any type of way in Nigeria. And people were just kind of saying, oh, I have malaria, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. But not, it was literally COVID jumping in Nigeria. COVID was jumping. And I know like so many people that got COVID, but the reason I really feel like it's important to talk about this is because it's like there's a stigma about talking about COVID and having COVID. There was at that time. Now it's like whatever, everybody's had COVID or the lucky people haven't gotten it. But then it was like, oh, hush hush, you got COVID, oh good. Like, it's a real thing, it's happening, people are getting it, we need to talk about it, we need to talk about how to control it, we need to talk about, you know. So started getting the symptoms, felt some type of way. We were like, okay, we're gonna get tested. Christmas Day I still felt some type of way, but I wasn't fully bad. and then as Christmas Day kind of passed, the next day it was like, yo, this is serious, this is definitely something, like this is not just normal. So we ended up getting tested. We all test positive in our household for COVID-19. And getting COVID was bad, but getting it with my parents was worse. Just because we all know that, you know, people that are older were more susceptible to having worse effects. And just like if you have underlying conditions and underlying issues, and age is just naturally, you're gonna just take things harder, especially something like the virus. And a virus that is so terrible, literally the worst. So it was terrible. We were all quarantining in our rooms in different places. We were all sick, trying to take care of the sick. It was just so bad. The symptoms were, I had headache, fatigue. I had my taste and smell. Thankfully, I didn't lose my taste and smell, but Nifemi lost her taste and smell. My mom lost her taste and smell. My dad lost his taste and smell. But I had a really bad headache, fatigue, was just tired, exhausted, body ache. Didn't have loss of breath, so thank God, because I am asthmatic, so that would have been bad. But really just felt bad. Like you just feel awful. You just feel ill. You feel groggy. You don't have strength. You don't really want to eat. You don't really have that much of an appetite. So we were just struggling, trying to feed each other, just hydrate, do everything. And these are my 2 weeks off. So my 2 weeks off were my 2 weeks with COVID. So I essentially went to Nigeria just to get COVID, because by the time I was recovered, it was time to basically go back to work and then go back to Chicago. So I was in Nigeria for a long time. I was in Nigeria for over a month. 6 weeks. But I spent 2 weeks having COVID. The 2 weeks before I got COVID, I was working. The 2 weeks and while I was recovering, I was about to leave. So it was just really bad, you guys. But I think what I really got from it was just that we need to really protect ourselves. I know that the pandemic is, you know, it's slowing down and people are getting vaccinated. I've gotten 1 dose and I have my 2nd dose, I think, next week. But in Nigeria, for all my people in Nigeria watching this, COVID is real in Nigeria. COVID is real everywhere, and I think that people are starting to know that now, but it was very clear that people did not feel like that when we first got there, and that's a problem. And I know that they're giving the vaccine out in Nigeria too now, but y'all, it is there. It's everywhere, and now it's not going to leave. So I feel like even now that the world is opening up, things are happening, we still need to be protecting ourselves and be safe. I didn't go out that much before I got COVID, like in Nigeria. I survived a whole year of not getting COVID in Chicago, and it's not as if I never went out at all. I didn't go out at all for the first however many months that we were required to stay home, but when things started opening up, I went out a couple times and I still never got COVID, but I went to Nigeria and got COVID. So I was so devastated and so hurt that it was still a good time, you know, spent with my family, and you know, at least while we were healthy, we were enjoying and everything. But it's just not worth it to get COVID, y'all. So I just want to tell y'all that it wasn't a good experience at all, and I didn't have the worst symptoms at all. So just imagine the symptoms. My dad had very bad symptoms. My parents had worse symptoms, and I was scared because, yo, like, my parents, you know, they're not old, but they're getting up there, and, you know, I didn't want my parents to, you know, have very, very bad symptoms, and my dad had really bad symptoms, and it was scary. And I almost felt bad that we were there, because I was like, yo, like, I don't want to be the reason why my dad gets really bad, you know, symptoms, and just doesn't recover quickly. So, you know, I think it's just important that we all be safe. And as people are traveling, I also want to travel. I want to go places. I want to see the world. Like, I'm a traveler. I really, like, enjoy doing that. But as there are restrictions, as there are things that we need to do, make sure that you're doing them, whether it's getting tested, whether it's getting the vaccine, if it's accessible to you. I know some people are anti-vax, but yeah, at this point, I won't say too much, but I am all for getting something that's going to protect me. Now that I've already had the virus, it's like, you know, I had it. I had it, and I do not want to ever have it again. So please just try to be as safe as you can. Getting COVID in Nigeria was not the best. I also have, like, better stories to tell you guys about Nigeria, the things that were actually fun that I could probably talk about if you leave a comment below and you want to hear any Nigeria stories. But yeah, it was a lot. And as you can see, like, I got back from Chicago. I got from Nigeria and still had symptoms up to a month later. I was still having headaches, COVID headaches. So, and fatigue randomly. So it's one hell of a virus. It really can affected you. It affected us physically, emotionally, mentally. But I'm really just thanking God that my whole family healed, and I really just want to, you know, say that, you know, for everyone who lost anyone to COVID-19, I'm so sorry, and I really, my heart and prayers are with you, because my parents were telling me, like, almost every week about someone that they knew that had died from COVID. So it's actually a blessing to survive COVID-19. It's a blessing to have survived 2020. But for 2020 to go out that way, it was a little bit on brand for 2020. I can't lie. 2020 was terrible. But there was blessings in 2020. So I just want to say that, you know, do what you can to be safe. Especially in Nigeria. COVID is real. If you can get the vaccine in Nigeria, do it. Just be safe about everything. Still wear masks, y'all. Like, even when you get the vaccines, wear masks. Let's just try to make this a better place, because now that we've seen how something gets spread and changed our whole trajectory of our lives, we need to, moving forward, make sure that this pandemic, another pandemic, does not arise in our lifetime. Please, I can't do it. I'm in my 20s. I'm trying to be in my prime. Like, I can't do it. But anyway, y'all, I feel like this was long enough. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any other questions about getting COVID, or anything else, traveling, I'm really, you know, here for it all. If you want to DM me on Instagram at lifeoflolu, or just, you know, comment down below. I'm open to answering any questions about COVID and being in Nigeria at that time. But Desi December wasn't as detty as it should have been, because it was just straight up COVID. But we move. I'm trying to go this December, and I'm trying to go to Ghana as well. So hopefully I can do that and actually vlog and stuff, because y'all, I didn't even really vlog. Like, I vlogged the Jara beach we went to, but the vlog was so trash that I never even edited it, because, and then every other time I was, you know, I was basically sick. So y'all, thank God for healing. Thank God for, you know, everything. But just be safe wherever you can. If you're traveling, just try to be safe. I keep saying that, but I really don't want y'all to get sick. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching again. It's been a pleasure always. Stay lovely, and come back for more videos next time. Bye.